right, now that we've had our little players meeting, we are going to start the game. Previously, in the GodBreaking, the walls to Westvane had been breached, and a horde of bloodthirsty, ravenous orcs and goblins poured through. As the defensive forces of Westvane began to fall back and their lines began to be broken, and as marked ones rained death and destruction down in a supernatural way, our party decided that, out of necessity, retreat from Westvane, even if temporary, was necessary. So you guys teleported away, unfortunately leaving Telephos, Battlemaster Telephos, behind, and he in combat with Quigley. You went to Ospium. You managed to recover, rest. You left Darius there to bolster his forces and build his army quickly. And then after some time, you regrouped and returned to Westvane. You managed to recover Telephos' body and bring him and entrust him to the keeping, and Shama. I think he brought Shama also, to Liam the Holy in Mistrala. And then you guys began to figure out a plan of approach to save the city, as basically the population of Westvane was beginning to be massacred. Deimos, in your brief sojourn onto another plane, you encountered the Archangel Seraphis, alone in Torm's private sanctum, where she held together, barely, the portfolio of the deceased god. After a brief conversation with her, you were rebuffed and were sent hurtling back to the mortal plane. After a little bit of doing, you made contact with your party and your friends, and you rejoined them through magical teleportation means. And finally, the rest of you all decide to heroically return to Westvane to salvage what you could of the fighting and the population. And in a bit of cleverness, which I thought was actually really good, you guys managed to drag Woe and Gromash off to Euphemia's private mansion, or an alternate version of that, and did battle there. You quickly realized that you needed to separate the two of them, and you managed through some great natural 20 rolls to pull Woe out of the sanctum, where Gromash was no longer on the effect of her foresight aura. And then you managed to bring Gromash down. Woe escaped as Euphemia and Light re-entered the sanctum, and Kildrak, you claimed your legacy weapon off, or legacy item off of Gromash's body. You guys are now, now there's been a lot of damage. I think someone was unconscious for a while. You guys had done all your healing already. You're pretty busted up. The body of Gromash is laying on the ground before you, in this kind of blank area. This place that Euphemia summoned you into has a few stone walls and that kind of thing, but mostly it's like a blank zone that you guys managed to fight in. Okay, on the ground is this large body of Gromash's, just crumpled up on the ground, lifeless. I think that's where we are. Deimos, are you all caught up? Did we catch you up on?
Yeah, I think so now. Yeah, I think I was only gone for like the last 20 minutes or so.
Okay, I'll upload the video from tomorrow if you wanted to catch the last bit of combat. There were some good moves made, some natural 20 rolls and that kind of thing. Euphemia and Light saved everybody by bringing Woe outside.
Nice.
So that's kind of what happened. And then Elwyn just realized that area of effect spells could get through Gromash's his hide, and you started fireballing him, and you killed him with a fireball to the face.
Now for Gromash, does his neck look like his head is super attached still?
It is definitely still attached.
All right, rip that shit off.
Okay, so you go on.
I was just gonna say we're just gonna burn the whole body to.
Deimos said we can. But Deimos specifically said he was like, "Hey Tempest, I'm gonna get you guy this head, and I'm gonna give you this guy's head." And Deimos is gonna cash down and get Tempest's head. Well, All
Oh,
right, how about this? How about this?
Sure.
Well,
Probably
if she can revive him from his body, I feel much more comfortable if he's scattered in ash all over the place where she
Yeah.
can't revive him.
Well,
All
yeah, but what if she has the ability to like take a thumb or a fingernail and like regrow him completely?
All right, I agree with you guys. I do.
That's all it takes.
So how about this? How about this? Deimos is gonna take the head. He's gonna be like, "Hey, Tempest, here's the head. I totally promise you, I'm gonna give you this head." And then after that, we can like dispose of the head.
By burning it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm fine
I
with
was gonna think if we
I
can,
can't hear you.
burn it.
Barely.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Albrecht, turn her up. Like right click on her name in Discord, and you can turn
She's
her
at
volume up.
full.
I
will
changed
just reload
anyway.
Discord. Be right back.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I
hear you.
can.
Go
I
on.
can hear you. What were you saying, Euphemia?
I was gonna say, if we have the ability to like completely burn him up and maybe like put him in a jar, and then send his body into like a vault of another dimensional vault, something that's completely
Deimos
impenetrable.
had an idea on that too. It'd be a little bit weird, but what would happen? You know that really cool one of my favorite items in the game, the what's it called, the iron flask.
Iron Flask.
Ooh.
What if we let out the air elemental because she's our friend on the way? We have her trapped in there.
I think she's gone.
She's gone.
Didn't we let her out?
You already released her.
Okay.
And the Iron Flask was one of the items that was stolen by Robin.
Oh, son of a bitch! That old
yeah.
bastard.
Robin stole it.
Still haven't taken care of that, have we?
All right, so real quick, while you guys are talking about this, Deimos, you two things happen. First of all, you meander over to Gromash's head, and as you're inspecting his body, you tug on his head a little bit. It's a very large head, and you're tugging on it a little bit to see if you could detach it from from his body, and you notice that where your hands are touching him, his hair and his skin leaves this like residue on your hands. And you look at it, and it's actually dirt, like earth. And you look down, and you see his skin and his hair begin to just fall away and turn into dirt.
Ah,
I'm gonna
shit.
really quickly, as fast as I can. Oh shit! First, I'm doing this, just in case. No. Second, I will be doing divination. Just I know it's to ask the god a question, but my question I will ask him is a Deimos question, and he says, "Here's the head. I'm sorry, it's disappearing."
Okay. You feel as you're doing that, as you send the prayer up, that you're looking down at a pile of dirt. As his body begins to fall away, and in its place, you can see it just basically retransforming or reverting back to earth.
So what's the chances that Gromas doesn't have a body and is basically created through some molding
I'm going with like
that can
he's
be
going back to
recreated
like
a billion
cracked
times
bone
over?
that like they probably made him out of because he controlled Earth.
Yeah, what if he is just Earth? In other words, there might be like a flash of you. What if he's kind of like a lich?
That'd be scary. Unless let's hope we don't give Midas those ideas.
In the center of all the dirt, finally, because this is a big mound of dirt now, because he had a very large body. In the center of it all, you do see something basically there's like a hand sticking out of the dirt pile, a small hand.
No, we gotta see what this guy originally was. I'll pull it out.
Okay, attached to it, you eventually pull out a very shriveled up body of what looked like a male elf, like a young male elf. But the body itself is ancient. Like he was young once, but he was whatever happened to him happened a long time ago. And that's all that's inside the pile of dirt.
All right.
I assume my bracers didn't turn to dirt.
No,
I got
they're
those.
not. They're not turned to dirt.
Your legacy weapon is now dirt.
Had it for all of 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'll shit. Can I tell Tempest to be like, I think him. Here you go.
Tempest is unimpressed.
unimpressed.
with a shriveled up little body that you're holding up to him.
No. Tempest knows what it is.
Ashok, from where you are, you're standing. You recognize, and I think, yeah, oh, you guys have the map already. You see Feldorn, your friend Feldorn, clutching at his side. He was wounded pretty heavily in the battle. He went unconscious at least once. And over the course of the last couple of days, especially in the first fight with Gromash, in which he died multiple times, he had been looking a little bit more haggard, a little bit more weary. And in his already exhausted state, you see him just grab his side and crumple over and collapse down to the ground.
All right, I'll try to cast my heal spell on him then.
Okay. Yeah. So you cast a heal on him, and his hit points go up. So he has, on the combat tracker, he has 34 points of damage. So you heal him for like 8 points of 8 hit points, or whatever that is. 5, okay. But you get closer, and you realize that something else is going on. His body seems whole, but he's writhing in pain. You see him coughing, and some blood begins to come out of his mouth. And more importantly, underneath his skin, it looks like there's weird shapes begin to protrude through his skin. Lumps that are moving around underneath his the covering of his flesh, and over his like crawling over his face and that kind of stuff.
Can I do a medicine or a nature check?
Sure. Renly's going to come over, and she's very concerned, and she's going to give you guidance. Go ahead and roll a d4 on top of that. Okay. What you recognize that this is not necessarily anything natural. It's not like a natural disease, and you recognize it's not a parasite or any kind of infection or infestation involved. This is something that is much deeper. You get a sense that there's old, like almost magical presence about it. Now, you guys have encountered this kind of sensation quite a bit, as you've noticed when you were underneath in the catacombs underneath Ospium, and you fought the aberrations there and the big water guy Azurigos.
Deimos killed somebody.
Yeah, and Deimos killed somebody there.
Talking about
Deimos, stab your best friend in the back with a knife and take his soul.
what? What? I mean, if you insist, that was a pretty good argument right there.
Can anybody else identify what's going on?
I can roll a medicine check as well.
Okay.
I'm not good at it.
Go ahead.
I can
Do
blast.
I see any magical essence or flow off of him?
So good at this.
Oof. Euphemia, you do notice heavy. It would be enchantment, but and it's looking definitely like fey magic, but not like normal fairy kind of fey magic. This is old. It's very dark. Has an aura of
It's
blackness
being
to it.
corrupted by fey magic.
So, were you talking to me or were you talking?
Euphemia was using her detect magics on it.
Oh, okay.
You, Albric, it's definitely looking like it's lycanthropic to you. Feldorn had told you guys a little bit of his encounter in the astral plane, so you guys had a little bit of a hint about it, but nowhere near. You didn't know it was anywhere near this drastic or this dire. But he is basically he has gone long enough that and has not chosen a bestial form to bond with. So the anthropomorphic essence that was left in him after
pull
the
out a
Black
butterfly.
Lotus after the Black Lotus fled is beginning to consume him from the inside.
All
He
right,
wants to bond with the butterfly, I'm quite sure.
I grab
Euphemia?
light and shove it in Feldorn's mouth.
You grab a what?
I'm grabbing light and shoving it in Feldorn's mouth.
Where's he? Leave my mouth alone.
Renly rushes up and she's very concerned. She says that she's heard tale of something like this a long time ago, and she thinks she knows of a way to help Feldorn, but it's very dangerous and it's very it's like a shot in the dark. But she knows of a very old and wizened druid, off in the Feywild, that might be able to counter this sort of Fey magic.
And where might this Feywild be?
The Feywild is a parallel plane. It's like the astral plane or the ethereal
Uh.
plane or some other place that you can go to. Renly has been there in her travels. She has sojourned there, and briefly in time past, and that's how she encountered this powerful druid. She says that if you guys want Feldorn to live, she can try to bring him there, but those who are not conditioned to the Feywild would not do well on that plane.
So we
So-
can't go.
Not right now. And besides, time passes slowly there. So, minutes spent in the Feywild are hours, if not days, here on the material plane.
Well, what are you waiting for? Bring him fucking there. Save the Feldorn.
Okay. She, with a lot of concern and some tears in her eyes, she says that she asks you to keep this world safe because she doesn't know how long they'll be gone.
He doesn't need all these items, and I just start playing off magical items, right? Right? He doesn't need.
You guys want to pull something off him?
I think
Yeah.
Elwin's mask he would give back out of the.
All right, the mask I'll
Oh,
give. Here,
goodness.
I'll give the mask back for sure.
I actually
I don't
talked to
honestly
Kevin,
remember what
and
he
he
has.
told me he had one of those modes of that you don't need to attune to stuff, that he was going to put it on the mask, but I don't know if you'd allow that.
Okay, here. So moat and the mask. Wait,
Well, technically, the moat was Deimos paid for.
Deimos is what?
Wasn't the moat for Deimos? Didn't he pay for it?
No, Felder had gotten his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought the first one,
Oh.
but then I gave my moat to Feldorn, and then
Yeah.
Feldorn said, "You want another one?" And I said, "Whatever. You can give it to me if you want, or you can use it in your own stuff. I don't really care."
When I
The rest
talked to him, he said he was going to use it on the mask, so I didn't have
Yeah, I
to
think
attune
he
to it.
said
But it's
that.
up to you guys.
The rest of the stuff was I put them both in the party tab. The rest of his stuff is kind of personalized to his character. You can have his animated shield if you want.
I don't need a shield, and I could use a shield.
I'll
Go up to
put it
20.
in there, an animated shield. Okay.
I'll take that.
That's
Unless
actually
anyone
pretty
else
good.
wants.
Yeah, activate that. You don't need to have a. You can use your great weapon.
That's what I was thinking.
Hell
I'll
yeah.
take the shield. Obviously his rapier is going with him. That we can't keep.
Yeah, that's gonna travel with him.
I can't think of anything else that I know he has that I would want. So as
So
far
he's-
as ask is, that's up to you.
I put it in the party tab so you guys can figure out what you want. Renly is going to say farewell to you guys because, like I said, time in the Feywild passes at a much different rate. So even if it takes her a couple days to find this druid and to enact his healing, months, if not a year or more, would pass on this realm.
I will give Renly a hug before she leaves and shake Feldorn's hand.
Okay.
As this giant dwarf comes up to I think she was a gnome druid. Just
Yeah, she's
gives
a
her
little
hug.
She has a big smile on her face, and she's a little bit emotional. She gives you a hug in return. She asks you to keep her city safe.
Deimos assumes he's going to see these people again, so he just says, "Well, take care, get better."
Okay. She's
Question.
going. Yes.
On that shield, did he use the moat on it? Because I don't see attunement on it, but I know it needs.
He might have used his first one on that one. Let me see.
Well, if he's had the first moat, then maybe that's probably not.
What'd you say? couldn't understand it.
Well, you said he had one emote already. And he
Yeah, a
used
long
it.
time ago.
So that's probably.
Yeah. All right. So she's gonna jump out on her broom. She's gonna go to the exit and holding Feldorn in tow. She's gonna fly down to the ground beneath and transport via tree to an ancient druid ritual site where she's gonna enact an incantation to cross over into the Feywild. So Renly and Feldorn have gone on their own adventure. What would
I
you
assume
all like to-
Feldorn did shake my hand back as well, right?
Yes, and as much as he was able to, and through the grimmest
Yeah.
pain. What would you all like to do?
Well, on a side note for the moat,
Mhm.
I think whoever doesn't have a moat, because everyone can use one. It's just a wonderful item. But whoever
don't have
has
a moat.
had a moat, that's who that should go to. I don't know who guys or doesn't. I've already used one.
I've never
So-
used one. I'm
I
only
think
attuned to
Elwin's
3
the-
items.
Yeah.
I've never used
Yeah.
one, but I don't need to use one. The only
Yeah.
thing I've used it on is bracers of defense, but I have the
Well,
shield
there's
that already.
always like another magical item you can always add to your.
Yeah, the only really magical
Since
items
there's
at Damos is
nothing I could, honestly, that would be
Oh.
that would be useful.
So I'm
It's like
just a magic item whore. That's all.
Oh no. I'm just thinking of like the only thing Damos would want, not even for like to boost up my stats, but Damos likes to get stronger and tougher. So the only thing he would actually want are the books now.
Well, if Ellen wants it, then he should have it. Because he uses as many magic items as I do.
Yeah, man. Elwin, those that moat looks good on you.
You can put it on your staff. Then you can have like 2 salves, 3 salves.
The Shadow Trigon or something.
Or the mask, like Feldorn was.
True.
See, also Elwin, I'm just throwing this out there. I mean, the mask is good, but if you use that mode on something else, especially if we eventually get higher stats, like that mask is going to be kind of useless.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna use it on the staff of the mage area. Something else, and I'll attune to the mask.
Fuck yeah.
I'll
Um,
think about it.
So you're asking
Okay,
for a plan
so-
then, Midas?
It's
Well, right now-
Ellen's.
Okay, so you guys are very good. So Elwin, you can go ahead and take that if you want. You guys are. So if Hasselin is here, you guys are about a day and a half's journey by flight north of Hasselin, because that's where Euphemia had been traveling to. So I'm gonna put you.
Right into the Dragon Summit.
Yeah.
He said it was close, but yet not close. I don't know.
Yeah, he said anywhere from
Like,
1 day to 2 weeks
what is
travel
it?
time. I'm gonna put you guys right around there on the map. And your door, Euphemia, is up high in the sky, several hundred feet off the ground.
Oh yeah, no one walk outside unless you can fly.
All right, and
So-
currently, Hasselin is currently being destroyed by the rest of the marked ones and the orcs. Westvane is anyway. And the dwarves are marching back to their hometown near Heldrin. But who knows what's going to happen after the orcs are finished with Hasselin.
That's a good point.
So
I think the orcs will probably head to the next largest city.
is Ospium.
I'm not sure if it is Osman.
Yeah, that's a place of significance to you.
Or,
To us, but is it the
Do
largest?
we know of any other large cities around this area?
Probably a
Uh,
lot.
Maybe
Yeah,
in
Uvale
Valhalla.
Shade.
What
Yeah.
about if we're already like more than
Signash.
halfway towards where the dragons are? If we just go there anyway.
That's where I was heading.
What I'm thinking, now just hear me out, is we all teleport back to Mistrala, take a long rest, use the viewing platform to find the rest of the marked ones, find another ring of
But
invisibility.
we already know that Garmosh has the ability to fool that thing and probably can fool. So it's completely worthless against him and the Mark.
What is worthless?
Oh, in the meantime, Deimos has been blasting this dirt with just fucking like I don't know punches and radiant energy and just fucking gasoline and burning it.
It's dirt.
All right.
Okay.
He thinks it's dirt, but then he
Yeah,
looks up
it's
at the
dirt.
sky and he looks past even the ancient old gods and he sees this guy named Midas and he's just like, "This son of a bitch, I'm gonna burn this shit to the ground."
Yeah.
Okay, but Euphemia, what were you saying was worthless against them?
The mirror thing. Gromash has the ability to fool it completely.
Observation platform. Yeah, you noticed
Oh.
that, remember, Albrecht?
I thought it was just Gromosh, not the marked ones.
We don't know. We just know that Gromash has the
Yeah.
ability to fuck it. So
I would say it's
Relying
probably those
on
marked
it.
ones.
Last time we used it and he was dead, and we said, I can't remember, we said Woe's name, it was accurate to her. So,
Do you remember what she was doing at the time?
oh yeah, never mind. She was reviving him full. Well, anyways, my idea.
Think
Rings of
she's the one.
Invisibility. Deimos and I to the
Ring?
army. And then Deimos and I seek in Invisible, find the nearest
whoa,
marked
whoa,
one by
okay.
themselves.
you
I
say
run up
Deimos sneaking.
and with a ring of invisibility.
You're gonna hear
it
it
only gives him
clink,
advantage on a
Clink.
shit roll that he has.
clink, clink, clink. You won't see much, but you're gonna see these large plumes of dust as this guy walks around in large clinks.
It's gonna look like
Well, you're the only
Invisible
one who
version
knows
of the-
Gate, so unless you find someone else who knows Gate, I don't have a better idea.
That's right, you did gate them over here.
Yeah, I did.
Better
That's
idea.
the only way to get
find
him
some
into this.
fucking dragons and burn his army to the ground.
Yeah, if we had dragons, I would say this would probably be easier. If you remember back those, you know, those like two guardian dragon things, those like the lava dragons things that Midas had on there. They looked like they could fucking like eat Gromash.
That is true. Okay. Scratch my plan. We did give a sending stone to your girlfriend, Elwin, or did we not?
I think we gave her
I-
something.
I don't remember.
I can't.
I
be
think
sure.
What'd you have?
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did.
I think I would. That way we don't have to, because they were marching straight into trouble. So that way we could keep them
Yeah,
Yeah.
informed.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
gonna-
you did.
I like this Mistrala thing you're thinking of, and I definitely think it'd be a safer place for us to rest.
I trust you.
Well, we're in our house right now.
I trust
Yeah.
Euphemia's mansion.
Oh, I definitely do too. I think it's a good thing, but actually, you're right. We need light to find out where the summit thing is, right?
I think
I-
killing Gromosh is good. I will ask. I will sending someone back in Mistrala to keep an eye. No, because they can fool it.
Yeah. You can't sending stone anyone from here. It has to be in the same plane.
Well, that's true as well.
Just you can open the door
Um,
and lean out. Just don't step out.
Yeah,
Now,
or
do
we
you
can,
think-
or Elwin can fly out and do it. That's easy as well.
Yeah,
We all
do
have
we-
sending stones.
Do we think that like she might go back and get a couple of the marked ones and come back to where this door is? So while
They
we're
can't come
flying,
in.
they're gonna ambush us. Well, I know that we can't come in, but we'll have to come out eventually. And then they'll just
Can
fuck
we
us
Not
up.
teleport?
necess- Yeah, not necessarily.
Can we
You can just
teleport
teleport away. Or
Well,
gate away if they are ready to ambush us.
I can just open another one. I have the spell. slot.
Okay.
So
Sounds
if
good to me.
we want to close this and move and hide the door somewhere close.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
maybe
down for
maybe we
whatever.
should make a new one not so high up in the air. I don't know if Albrecht sleepwalks or what the role for that is, but I don't want to scrolling a natural one on that.
I can make another mansion if you want. One with beds.
Yeah.
Alright.
So just real quick, I think the plan is we all fly to the Dragon Summit, but we do tell Darius to keep marching south to face the army when it comes north. If he needs help, send for it.
What time
Okay.
what time is it, by the way?
It's midday, so well, you guys were fighting there for a while. We'll call it mid-afternoon, around 3 o'clock.
Still got
So we got like 6 or 7 hours to. And we might as well do it by traveling.
But the question is, how do we all get there? because not all of us can fly.
Well,
Well, Elwin has
Elwin can fly.
telekinesis. Oh yeah, we can all get there.
and Light can carry a couple of us.
Light can carry 2.
Telekinesis for the rest, plus his
Oh,
own
yeah.
wings.
If we went to Mistrala, we could probably pick up griffins or something like that. I'm sure they'd have something there, or even Aspium.
And Euphemia, you have your priestess with you, so you can't carry more than you and the priestess.
Uh,
Yeah, we
I
might
can
have to
send
go
her
find
back.
those.
I
Elwin
can
can
send her
teleport.
somewhere else.
Ospium. That's where the temple is.
Yeah.
Now, thinking back of Aspium, did we see any possible flying mounts that they had there?
No. Not an
What
Ospium.
about in Mistrala?
They would have had some griffiths, some griffins.
Okay.
I don't know what Elwin has for teleportation ability.
Is he here? No,
But yeah,
Owen.
we
I
might have
have
to get
teleport.
griffins.
I mean, how many spell slots do you have left? Because they're talking about multiple spells.
I just have
Teleportations.
1/9 level spell slot left.
So you can get there, but you can't get back.
Well, we can get
What's
there.
telekinesis?
What do you think about this, Euphemia? If we get there, like let's say all of us who need flying mounts, we go there, we get flying mounts, we rest. You rest in your place, and then he gives you a dagger or something like that. We can just teleport back to wherever you're at, and we could just follow you in light the next day.
Is that possible, Elwin?
That would work.
Okay.
Um,
Ashok,
That's a
you
good
have any
move.
input on this? Ashok?
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. So, if you guys want to do that, you're certainly capable of it. So, Elwin, are you gonna teleport? You guys, you have to step out the door a little bit, but you can teleport from outside.
Yeah, where do you guys want to go, Mistrala?
That's what I'm
Australia.
thinking because they got flying mounts.
So me and Light and the priestess are going to keep heading to the Dragon Summit. You guys are going to go dock.
Okay, so I'll hand you a dagger before we take off, and then I'll go ahead and teleport us to Mistrala.
You should also be able to use the mirror too to find me.
That's true, but still.
All right.
This
So,
just absolute 100% sure she'll get there without a roll at all.
a quick step through the doorway, and you pass into the material plane. And on the other side, Elwin sets up a portal that teleports you to Mistrala. So you walk through one doorway into a portal, and you guys arrive, your feet setting on solid ground at the base of the Silver Spire.
Nice.
Picture for.
And I'm going to continue reading my book. I'm not sure how much longer.
Okay.
How much more reading I have to.
You've done about 12 hours worth. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, a little bit more. We're closer on halfway through 20 hours.
Isn't it a little bit more? Because then I do one full
You did one full
day.
night, and then you did all your travel time here.
Yeah, but then I do. Remember, I took a thing of exhaustion.
Yeah.
So
But
when
you
I
did
do
have
that,
to rest that one time because we took the exhaustion off. I think 20 hours is about
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because you did have to rest that one day. All right, so you guys are at the Silver Spire. Elwin, Deimos, Albric, and Ashok. What are you doing?
I want to go Liam's and see how Telephos is doing.
Yeah, definitely doing that first.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
You head over to the chapel, and you encounter Liam the Holy there, and he has quite a few bodies around the area, tending to the Magnus mages that you brought back, war mages that you brought back. Some were wounded. They were able to recover a few more bodies, and there's been resurrection attempts. A couple have failed, but for the most part, you see that they've been able to bring back some of their battle-worn friends. 9 returned, and they were able to bring more bodies back. They're in the 15 returned. They're in the area of we'll call it 25 mages recovered.
Bad, honestly.
All out
Pretty
of the
good.
50 that went, all in various states of recovery, and a little bit shell shocked at the sheer force of power that they encountered down in Westvane. Some of them are are discouraged. You see them completely disheartened. Some of them are sharing these incredible war stories of slaying hundreds of enemies and foes. Some of them are talking about this massive, monstrous creature that came from the skies and just were slaying mages left and right, and of how Telephos himself succumbed to these incredible beasts of or monsters of power. So you hear all this stuff going back all around. The the chapel has basically been turned into like an infirmary with different cots and triage areas, that kind of stuff all over. Liam the Holy is responds to you guys' entrance. Someone notifies him, and he comes shuffling over to in your direction. He says, "Oh, there you are. Come to check in. Perhaps you can tell that the cost to our friends and our forces here has been quite dire. We are doing our best to recover, but alas, several are way beyond our ability to save."
I say to him, well, come bearing news of joy, and then some joy. I can't find the words. And I say,
perhaps looking for the person that you brought here to be healed. He was in dire straits.
Yes.
Oh, of course. He brings you over to a room, and he shows you guys in. And sitting in the room is a very small, kind of thin-boned, elven individual. He looks up at you. His skin is a little bit withered and gaunt. And Liam says, "After we reverted his transformation from that devilish creature, he was not quite restored to his former self, but he is beginning to make a recovery. I believe his mind is still a bit gone. Isn't that right, Roger?" Roger, the former librarian, looks up at you. He's got a twitch in his eye right now. He keeps winking. And he says to you, the horrors, the horrors. He says, I see the ghosts everywhere. I see the. He says, the shapes, they torment me still.
You'll be just fine.
to be rolling deception to see if I can hide my laughter.
Liam says, whatever you were able to do to Raja, he says, it was quite beyond the level of prank. This was serious. I do not know that he will ever truly recover. As were these not dire times, there might have been martial or at least legal repercussions for you and your party.
What? I didn't do shit.
And the party, excuse me?
What? I didn't do shit. Look at me. Look at this guy. Look at me. Look at this. He points to Deimos' face. I don't do nothing. Look at this guy.
No one knows I did anything, and I
didn't say
deny
nothing.
all.
Roger has told us
We have no
full
idea who did
story
it.
of what happened.
He's crazy, and I'm not there, so I don't. I'm just saying.
I tell him that Deimos innocent.
He says, Liam
I'm
says,
too cute to be a bad person.
alas, he says, the gods will have to judge, for we have much more dire situations to consider. But as you can see, Raja is at least living, and perhaps he will be restored further in time.
Good.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Worth fuck
How's
Telephos.
Telephos?
Ah, Telephos. Come this way. He leads you out of the hallway that you were in, and he walks over to a central area. You can tell it's more like an altar, where the focus of the the holiness in this building is the most pure. He says, it has been hit or miss. He He was gravely, gravely wounded. Who wants to roll the check, the revival check?
Oh,
What?
Someone's got to see if they were successful in resurrecting him. Someone's got to roll a d20.
Yeah, that's.
Can I roll it and use lucky if I need to?
You cannot. One roll.
I've been rolling
One
really
roll.
good, guys. Do you want me to get it?
Yeah,
10
go for
or
it.
higher. 10 or higher.
Fuck this.
He lives. 10 or higher, he lives.
Yes! Oh!
Liam smiles. He says, "It was hit or miss, but
That's what I wanna
Telephos
see.
should make a full
Oof.
recovery." You guys are. As Telephos opens his eyes, he turns his head your way, and you see his previously very flawless features on his face. His face still swollen, and from the beating that he took, you could tell an area under his cheek where the bones were even smashed. Quigley just really, really screwed him over.
Dude, those love scars.
he gestures a hand in the air, and you hear the wind whispering to you. He says, "Now that was a battle. I look forward to rejoining and giving those beasts a piece of my mind when I am at full strength."
After I hear that, I stick his pamphlet on his chest. I say, "Read this. You're gonna want to read this, especially you in this bed for a while. Just read this. Trust me on this one."
He looks at you. He says, he closes his eyes and he puts his hand on the pamphlet on his chest. Liam says, "He must rest. He is still quite weak."
Okay, before Deimos does that, before he closes his eyes, I would put my arm across my chest and say, "I look forward to seeing your return as well, brother." Deimos.
Okay, he nods. And there's a brief, barely perceptible nod, but he closes his eyes and lays his head back down. And you see his breathing grow slow and steady as he drifts off into rest. You lucky bastards.
I told you guys, I've been rolling real good. I tell Liam the next thing I need is the what's-her-face alchemist and the guy who looks at the stars.
Okay.
In a meeting together, not in that order.
All right. So he says, "Very good, very good. Give us a bit of time, and make yourselves comfortable. There is much going on in the city. Telephos had organized quite a bit of training regimen, and all hands are on deck, to borrow the colloquialism." All right. So a little bit of time goes by. You guys are able to refresh yourself, sit for a bit, eat a little bit, just take a short break. I'll give you guys a short rest if you want to take a short rest. All of you.
I will never be rolling hit dice on a short rest again. I'll just do it when I attack. It is a very sweet magic legacy weapon. Thank you, Midas.
Yep.
Yeah,
only
and
tier
I didn't
one.
want to meet. By the way, I wasn't going to meet with them in the middle of the infirmary. Of course, I'd pick out a meeting room, something like that. Just to know if that was made clear.
Okay, it was. So after the hour goes by, a courier comes your way and tells you that when Lisa and Tycho are ready to meet you, they guide you off to a different section of the city. There's various buildings, administrative. You see some very scientific and research-based structures, and there in the middle of one, the place you gather is more of an observatory. You enter. Yeah, it is an observatory with some telescopes and various looking glasses pointed straight to the heavens. You encounter Tycho, and when Lisa enters shortly thereafter. You walk up, and Tycho is there humming. Yes, and he's there, standing there. You see some charts and books in his hands,
I say hello and I walk up and I offer to shake his hand.
He says, "No touch. No, 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 no. Too much to do. Too much to do."
I'll give him a head bow and.
Okay. He says, "Are you looking for stars?" He points up to the sky. He says, "Much goes on. There are signs. There are wonders."
I'll indulge him to pass the time until she gets here. I'll act
As you
little
begin
bit
looking up, he starts to give you a basic layout of this of the constellation that he's studying when Lisa enters the room, and she says, "I pray you hurry. My time is precious." What is the meaning of this meeting?
I say to her, just news from the battlefield. Would you like to hear the good or the bad first?
She says, "Always the bad."
Unfortunately, Renly has left this plane of existence to help out a friend of ours suffering from a lycanthrope ailment.
Tycho hums a little bit. Saw it happen, saw it happen. I know where she went. When Lisa kind of just disregards him and she says, "We will have to alter our arrangements for governance here, but we will be able to make do without her."
I think it would be in your best interest to maintain the third spot on the triumvirate or whatever you're calling it.
Yes?
That she does plan on being back. It's just she went to the Feywild, so time is different there.
Just, "Of course," she says, "no one can be named to seat of triumvirate without full approval of council."
Understand that. Just wanted to make sure that the triumvirate was maintained.
And what of the battle? We have seen many wounded, and we have heard of Telephos's plight. What of the city to the south?
Well, that's a little bit more bad news, but it ends in good news, so let me tell the story. While Telephos was gravely injured and the city did not survive, the help of the Magi was instrumental in making it so that we could and have finally killed Gromosh.
She nods. She says, "'Tis a wonder." Gromosh dead?
Damn
Hello.
lying dwarves.
Tycho says, "You can't kill Gromosh." He goes back to his charts and he starts scribbling some stuff on his papers.
Whoa. Why can't
Explain that, please. I look at him skeptically with a raised eyebrow.
He says, "Gromosh dead? Quite funny, quite funny."
Deimos is a terrible liar, and he says, "We totally killed Gromosh, and we took his little, whatever original elf body, and we just fucking destroyed it.
Burned it.
Yeah, it's fucking gone."
Not his body, not his body.
Gosh damn it!
He's hopping like back and forth from one foot to the other. He says,
Well, I took Renlisa, that's her name, right?
"Uh-huh.
I look to Renlisa and I say, well, we've killed his body twice. The second time we burned it, it turned to dust, and then we burned the tiny body that was inside. So I think if he does have an influence, it's only through his living marked ones. As I say that just...
When Lisa says, "To be honest, I have little knowledge of this, and neither do I have any interest. There is much to manage. If you have no other questions for me, or news, I must bid you adieu. There is a whole city and nation to manage."
Just your continued permission to teleport in occasionally to use the observatory tower and maybe take...
She says, "You are trusted here. Renly made such arrangements. Do as you wish." She
I bow
bows
to her as she
shortly.
leaves.
Now ask
Yeah,
her
she
for
bows
a
curtly.
sick ass cool, maybe not even done potion of cool stuff that she's been making because she looks like she makes cool potions.
She
Say,
says, yes,
hey girl,
I will,
I hear you
I
make
will,
good potions. Give me something cool.
oh, of course, right here. She reaches into her, she opens up a pouch at her side. She puts her gloved hand into it, and she pulls it out, and all you see is her extended middle finger.
Oh, I say that's not a potion. That's your middle finger.
She
Oh,
says, I
you
will
look
be
like
on
you
my
could
way.
make. Oh no, trust me, girl. Deimos is now, for at least for this session, he's totally into smart girls. You see, he's told him pull off the slick moves, and he's just like, "Hey, girl.
Just,
So, what you doing there
I
tonight?
just don't do anything.
You want to grab a drink?"
She says, I do
I
not
just,
rest, I do not drink, I do not recreate. I study, I
Mm-hmm.
work, and I
Okay,
manage this city. She
that
says, you do
sounds
not
like
understand the
that's perfect
burden,
wife material right
great
there.
burden that is on my shoulders. Telephos is laying ill. Renly has gone off to fucking Feywild, and here I am left with the entire burden of fucking city.
I tell her you need to take a chill pill, and just because Deimos is a really nice guy, uh, you see a bottle of tequila in his hand and he gives it to her. I say, I suggest you because I am totally almost a doctor.
Persuasion check.
Drink
Persuasion
this.
check.
No,
Roll it.
Deimos
Roll
is
it.
not
Roll that shit.
lying.
Roll that shit.
yep.
Persuasion
You're
check.
not lying, but you still have to persuade her.
Yeah, what?
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, it could be worse. Could be
She
worse.
says,
And I
she
do
says,
want to say this is a fancy bottle of tequila. Deimos isn't even trying to get anything out of her. He just trying to get her to stop being such a nerd.
she says, talk to my assistant, schedule an appointment, and we will have your conversation. Thank you.
Need a
She bows and she
conversation.
turns and she starts walking out the door.
I stick the thing in her pocket.
Sleight of
Sleight of
hand.
hand.
No,
You're
it's not
sticking the
even
tequila in her
sleight of
pocket?
hand. It's not sleight of hand. I'm just like I'm not even trying to be stealthy about it. Like her big purse wallet, whatever thing she has, Damage just like shoves it in there. And he says,
All right. All right.
"Catch up
Roll
with you later."
contested dexterity check with her. I swear I just rolled a natural 20, but it didn't go in the box. There, I was at 17.
Nah, fair enough. I'm not beating
Okay.
it.
All right, all right. Yeah, you reach over and you stick the bottle of tequila into her hip pocket, right? And as you quickly pull your hand back and she spins around, she slaps at your hand, but your hand is already gone, and she's there standing there glaring at you. She says, "Watch your hands."
I did. That's why you didn't hit it.
You see her just like glaring at you. Her breathing is quite amplified, and she says, she's about to say something, and she bites her lip a little bit, and she turns around, she walks away.
I gave her a good hearty goodbye wave. Big smile on my face.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go over to Tycho and ask him to tell me all he knows about Gromosh. And
Does he have a green lightsaber?
He
Or
does
a
not
sword?
have a green lightsaber.
Ah,
Does not.
is my intelligence immediately boosted by just being in the same room with him?
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah,
not like
along with
permanently. but
along with
like,
your social
just
awkwardness.
Perfect.
Is
plus
so-
1 to intelligence, minus 1 to charisma, while
sure,
next to him.
sure.
I'll take it.
All right, so he's standing there. He's just you walk over and you see he's doodling on, he's drawing on paper, on his papers and stuff, but it has nothing to do with anything you guys have been talking about. He's drawing star charts and that kind of stuff.
I ask him, what can you tell me about Gromosh's mind, and if it's or no, how, let me see how I want to phrase this question. I want to ask him basically why Gromosh can't be killed. That's all.
Gromosh been killed so many times, so many times. He points to, he taps one of the huge books on his back. He says, "History of Great Wars." He says, "Grommash dies many times, many times."
I ask him, can I borrow that book?
No, 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 my books.
We
Your
ask
copy
him.
in the library?
Of course not.
We ask him if there's a way to kill Gromash.
He says, he says, kill Grommash? Yes, of course.
How?
Been done many times.
Well, I mean, permanently. Permanently.
He says, to kill, to make death permanent on Grommash. He says, need not destroy body, need destroy mind. He starts drawing pictures of like puppies and flowers and stuff like that. But he's doing it on star charts, so like he's connecting the lines between stars, in like ways, like basically diagramming different ways to draw the constellations.
Like it.
The question is, can I have whatever? Can I smoke some of whatever is in that pipe?
He looks at you. He says, "Of course," and he hands you his pipe.
Constitution check,
Sure.
advantage, or because I'm a
No
dwarf?
advantage. No advantage. This is
I
dwarven. This is dwarven weed.
Okay. I think that is it a check or save?
We'll do save.
I already have the +2 added to that, but ooh,
It's your Constitution save. Holy shit! What the hell? Oh yeah, you have a +15 in Constitution.
yeah, because I have 20 Constitution
Six.
plus the ring of protection plus
Yep,
your
that's
new.
Yeah, your proficiency plus all that stuff. So you inhale it and you feel your head getting a little bit lightheaded. You feel happier, a little bit more relaxed. That's about it.
Question for you is no wait, I don't have a final question for you. I'm gonna head out, and then my question for you as a player to a DM: how did you say to increase the number for the saves again? Was that control plus scroll?
Yeah, scroll up. Yeah.
My checks should all have a +4 save too, right?
You should have a +2 to all your checks. So over here. So yeah. Under miscellaneous, you could probably just add the 2. See where I'm doing right now? That's how you would do it. There. Go ahead and fix those back to where they're supposed to be, the other ones that you did.
I don't see miscellaneous.
I did it. See under the miscellaneous column on your skill sheet.
Skill sheet. Aha. Oh, all those
Yeah.
+2. I thought you meant all of the, like, if you just had me roll a straight strength check, all that was +2. Like this.
No, you don't get them to your stats. You don't get +2 to your stats.
Yeah, I understand that, but I was wondering, should that be a +10 or a +8?
That would be a +10 also.
Yeah,
But
I don't
there's
know
no
how
way
to change it.
Yeah, no, I don't
Okay.
think you can.
Just have to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just yeah. Okay.
All right. So, are you guys doing anything more? Are you talking to Tycho anymore? I mean, you barely even.
I got
talked-
no more further questions. I got no further questions for him. But no, I got to kill his mind now.
Alright. Ashok and Elwin, you have any questions for him?
No, I'm like taking notes on him. He intrigues me.
Okay.
He piques my curiosity, but no.
Okay.
Carry on.
All right. What do you guys want to do?
Rest.
Yeah, we should probably rest, pick up, try like get some griffins or something. Can we go hit
Okay.
up the where they have all the fly mounts?
Yeah, it doesn't take you long. You find the section of the city where they do have various breeds of flying creatures. You haggle a little bit. It's going to cost you all. What's in your inventory right now?
I've got 0.
Yeah, I'm taking it from imagery. There's 4 platinum, and yeah, I'm taking it from the party sheet.
Oh, okay.
You secure a handful of mounts. So how many? So 4, because there's 4 of you.
Yeah.
Alright,
I
so
don't need one.
4 flying mounts or 3 flying mounts. That's about right.
Now, do they have
3
any
flying
cool
mounts.
flying mounts, or is they just griffins?
They are griffins.
They don't have flying rhinoceroses.
They do not.
Ah, damn it! What type of city is this?
Flying goats.
All right, so it'll be a griffin,
They
but
have
not
flying-
the 2 CR one. It's more like a 1/4 CR griffin.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they look like they have any tougher ones, just in case? There's like more than a slight breeze.
No, these creatures are made for flying. They don't really have
Okay.
like war griffins or anything like that.
Okay, sounds good.
What are you guys doing? So you just go to sleep that night, and you rest in Mistrala.
Nice.
Euphemia,
Assume you think-
you continue to fly northwards. As you do, you begin to cross over the border into Azoa. All right. As you fly, you cross over over the border into Azoa. You notice that the landscape has become a little bit more desolate, more desert-like conditions. Less foliage, more like dry sagebrush and a scattering of different. Everything becomes more sparse and harsher as this area is pretty arid. You pass over these mountain ranges here, so you're like right around there at the point of the arrow. As nightfall hits, do you have how are you gonna rest this night, or are you going to rest?
I'm gonna find a good hiding spot for the door. Then I'm gonna summon them,
Okay.
and I'll rest inside.
You're able to do so. You usher Light in with you. He says,
And the priestess.
and the priestess, yes. He says, "Verily, this here journey is one of great excitement. I am eagerly anticipating rejoining my kin."
Well, hopefully we find them.
He says, "Oh, we shall. Mine own instincts do lead unwaveringly. We shall find the Dragon Summit, Mount Dracaris itself."
Did you know that you have the soul of a dragon, but your body was created by random object?
What?
Mostly a tree.
He says,
Yeah, I
I-
created
I-
you.
I think you are mistaken somehow. I am a noble creature of great lineage and
Oh yes, that is for sure. But still, your body is was not born a dragon. It was born a tree.
I give him a pat on the back. I say, if it makes you feel better. I
He's not
you're
there.
not, you're not there. You're not there. You're in freaking
Damos
Mistrala.
still, you see him, he pats him on the back, and he says, "We were probably born of dirt."
All right.
He goes to Deimos.
Okay. He's having a hard time accepting this Euphemia, but he says, "You are my mistress. I trust what you say, but surely you must be mistaken. But I will humor you for the time being."
Well, just as you say, humoring this assumption that I'm making that seems highly unlikely. What would your brethren think if they knew that was the truth? If a dragon would come to them, but that really didn't start out as a dragon. Like, would that be an
Says-
issue?
He ponders. He tilts his head for a little bit. He says, "A dragon is accepted into society, into dragon society, both because of blood lineage and because of merit." He says, "I, being a rather young creature, would have to prove myself, prove my dragonly merits to those, Dragonkin, but I have no doubt that I would be quite capable.
Neither will I. I think you'll do just fine.
Of course. Alright. So Euphemia, what would your elven priestess, what kind of clothing would she be wearing? Like armor, or would she be in like priest garb?
Mostly probably a elven chainmail.
Okay. But she wouldn't be a drow, right? She'd be an elf or a human.
I'm not sure what kind of roles you've used to determine the viability of them. She would be elven. That is probably something that would happen.
Okay.
So if she was drow or high elven or elf.
Okay, I'm just trying to find an image for her, but I'll get back to that later. All right. So you get your long rest as well. Are you gonna sleep or are you gonna read?
No, I'm gonna have to sleep.
Okay. But you've been reading for the last several hours, so we'll count you. Let's see, that was around 3 o'clock when they left. So we'll say you end up finally resting around 11 p.m. So you've got another 8 hours onto your thing. So you're 28 hours in while you were
20
flying.
more?
How many hours do I have to do?
You
20,
need 48.
40,
40
Okay.
or is it 48?
48. Saying 20 more.
All right, and you guys all wake up the next morning. You guys and Mistrala have your mounts. Euphemia, I'm assuming you and Light reset on your way, flying north. Okay.
And
you
I'll
guys
keep
wanna do-
reading.
Okay.
I assume we teleport. Or ask someone to teleport to us so we don't waste spell slots.
I like that idea better.
All right.
Can
The
they
next
teleport
morning.
us?
Or it's Elwin's dagger, so yeah, you'd probably have to do it.
Well, they can use the observation deck.
Yeah, we'll ask if I need to do it, I'll do it, but I'd rather not waste the spell slot.
Okay. You guys head to the observation deck.
With
And
someone who knows teleport.
Tycho meets you there. He says, "Good night's sleep, I believe. Yes, had good night's sleep.
Yes, very good.
Off to find." He says, "You all will have a fun day. I've seen it." Bid you on your way? I will.
I'm going to be extra careful all day long.
Okay. Tycho is going to he'll be the one to cast teleport. He's seen where
Oh,
Euphemia
boy.
is. he rolls teleportation checks with disadvantage.
Oh no! No!
You guys are screwed.
Oh, we got Elwin as a backup. On a different plane. Hey,
Or
we may be going
inside of
straight
an
to...
object.
That's true as well. Hey, we may be going to heaven right now.
I mean, it's really hard for him to mess it up. I mean, because of his viewing and with your guys' familiarity with the area. I'm just gonna see what happens here. All right. So here is roll number 1. Okay, so that would be definitely successful.
Yeah.
Roll number 2. Oh.
Oh no.
All right. So, Tycho, he absent-mindedly, makes some gestures. Elwin, you're as he casts a spell, you look and you see that his hands, he's not even really paying attention to what he's doing, with the rune sequences and the sigils that he's forming and the somatic gestures, and you're tracking what he's doing, Elwin, and you gasp and you open your eyes and you hold up your hand, no, and as you see him finish the sequence, and you guys are all sucked into this, are surrounded by this teleport spell and vanish away. Okay, so Euphemia is
Well,
right around here by this time in the day on the world map. Okay. Elwin and Deimos and the rest of you guys, you arrive. Okay, not far away. 5 miles to the west of where Euphemia
Oh,
is.
we can. Oh, we can't see him, but
You arrive on the ground, and you just so happen to arrive in like a um well, it looks like a hovel, a town, but you recognize that it's an orcish town.
get us out of here.
Okay.
I get on my griffin and. Well, do I know I'm 5 miles away, or are you just telling us that?
No, you have no idea where you guys are. Elwin, you saw that he screwed up slightly in his casting of it, so you knew you would be off target.
Yeah. So I'll just round everybody up and I'll focus on the dagger and just teleport us correctly.
All right. You do notice that around you, the orcs have begun to look at you. As you guys go ahead and roll me a perception check. Oh, holy crap! What is with these rolls? Yeah. Elwin and Albrecht, you notice that like, as you guys are going, it's like, wait a second. The only orcs that we saw around there were either really young or really old.
It's a war-struck town.
Or they joined the war. That's
Yeah.
this is where all the orcs that killed all our people are from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is where the recruits came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
was there a bunch of women around as well?
Huh?
Was it just
Um,
old and young, or was it old, young, and woman?
Just old and young.
Old, young, and woman.
Well, it was a patriarchal society.
Yeah,
Figure out-
but
figure
they're
out if
orcs.
there's
Everyone's
sex.
fine.
Yeah.
Everyone-
The army was mixed gender.
Just curious. Don't blame me.
Such
Well, I mean, they're orcs. Now, if
Damn
it's
dwarf.
humans, it would probably make a bit more sense. But for orcs, I think they all just fucking run around and fucking hit people.
Did it really hurt to ask, though?
It hurt everyone.
Nah.
Euphemia, the group just suddenly appears like
In
near you.
midair? Did they fall down?
Yep. They're on their flying griffins.
Oh, okay.
I was just about to say, if we're not, I would definitely clarify that before.
All right. You guys continue on your journey.
Yep. Letting light lead the way.
I'm going to
Okay.
be extra perceptive after Tycho's warning.
Light says, verily, I shall lead thee. Okay. A few more hours go by. So this is early in the morning, it's like 7 a.m. You guys make off for an early start. Euphemia, you are reading most of the day. You guys take a brief break every few hours to rest your mounts. And the break has to be fairly significant. You're in the order of half an hour. You make it a point to land in unpopulated places, staying away from roaming eyes and that kind of thing. You manage to pass over a couple more villages in your flight over Azoa, and they all seem to be similarly afflicted, at least what you see from overhead. The population that you see is much smaller than the structure and the number of buildings would necessarily
Yes.
give evidence of.
With my my real high perception roll, did I notice any hardships within the town? Were they struggling economically? Was there people look starved? What was that type of situation?
Yes, they did look like they were very very impoverished.
More so than I would expect in Orc Town, or
I mean, you're not very fond of orcs in general, but Ashok, so you wouldn't know much about it, but Ashok, I think orcs are one of your favorite enemies, right, Ashok?
Correct.
Okay. So
I never
Ashok, you would
hear him.
notice this for sure. Yeah, Ashok, you would notice this for sure. The town was bereft of any fighting age orcs, and that along with them they had taken any kind of wealth and not wealth, but like weaponry, and they'd taken the best with them, all the supplies, all the provisions, that kind of thing. So what was remaining in that town in the brief moments that you saw it were the elderly and the very young, with little left to sustain them.
What would a sensitivity check be?
Sensitivity check? What do you mean?
Like, do I feel bad? Do I care as a dwarf about orcs?
That's a character decision for you.
I don't.
All right.
I just brush it off.
Okay. All right.
Northward.
As you guys continue flying, you're talking, let's see, 7 a.m. It's about 10 hours into your flight.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, so around 5 p.m.
Are
You
we
guys,
in, like, Gnash yet?
Skignash, yeah. You're close to the border of Skignash. You're right around here, northern Azoa. Light begins to become a little bit more focused. You know, he's physically weary from flying so much, but he becomes a little bit more focused. He leans back to you, Euphemia, and he says, "Mistress, I doth sense that we are drawing close to our destination. Verily, my dragon, my dragon intuition is afire."
Okay.
Alright. He says, "As we approach, I should perhaps warn you of the expectations at the Dragon Summit. From a very young age, young dragons are taught to honor and respect these sacred grounds. For centuries, for eons, the most powerful dragon kind would venture to the summit, and there alone it was a place of peace between the dragon flights. While there may have been war and enmity and great blood feuds amongst the dragon kind, elsewhere in the world above and below, at the Dragon Summit, at Mount Dracarys itself," he says, "there was always peace. There was always freedom of communication and the ability to dialogue. It has been said that
well
any..."
named.
He says, he stops for a second and he says, "I doth suppose it was." He says, "And here at said summit, it has been said that any dragon can make a call, can put forth a call, and all dragon kind would know of it. Now, not all dragon are required to respond. The standing and power of the dragon making the call would determine who was willing to respond to it. But I assure you, if I were to go to the Dragon Summit, any dragons remaining would know of my presence there and my desire to commune with them. I cannot guarantee that they will respond, however."
Is the rest of the party hearing this, or just Euphemia?
For the sake of storyline, we'll say that everyone can hear. He doesn't talk in subtle tones very much. He kind of like broadcasts everything that he says. So
Mention to him that something that might increase your standing besides or that just might increase your standing, is mentioning that you are a friend of Modron, since he is kind of the patron of dragons.
What?
He
Is
does
that
nod. He
actually
says,
a real thing?
"What?"
Oh, is that actually a real thing? I didn't know that.
Well, why do you
I
think
thought that was
Modron?
bullshit.
Oh, Modron's temple had dragons in it.
He did.
I remember back when we were talking with
Okay,
Modron,
never mind.
Light. I can't remember the exact interaction, but Light had some sort of reaction to Modron. I
Yes.
even asked him specifically about it. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he
Modron
does.
was patron of
Okay.
dragons.
Sounds good. I was thinking like the actual D&D universe. I was like, what? I didn't know that.
No, that's Bahamut.
No.
Would be.
Yeah, I was
We
like,
assume
the
you have to
what?
be friends with.
Patron. No. Bahamut is the god of dragons. Modron was a friend of dragons.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Well, patronish, but not true patron.
What was the name of the shadow dragon that we dealt with?
Isolin.
Mhm.
Is there a way we can use that to our advantage to get someone to listen to us? I asked Light, and I tell him about the shadow dragon we met on the edge of reality.
He says,
Just trying to-
okay. He says, at the Mount of Dragons. Um, you all are visitors. You are guests of mine. However, dragons will respond based entirely upon my merit. What you have done or not done will matter little.
Okay. It was worth a try.
How does this work for Elwyn?
Elwyn is a half elf.
Is he?
Yeah, I
Doesn't he
already
have dragon
asked.
blood?
I already
did you?
asked.
Sorry, I must have missed that. My bad.
He said that I am not full-blooded dragon, so I don't count as a dragon.
Oh,
You've got like a drop of dragon blood way back in your history, in your lineage.
Yeah.
Some dragon like turned into human form and like, you know, had made babies with your great 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 grandmother.
He did point my grandmother.
Okay.
But it is true that Light is friend of Modron. That is true, right?
Dragons are a friend of Modron. Light recognizes the name.
Well, didn't he actually meet him
Yeah, they
and
met.
get his blessing?
Oh yeah. They did meet. They did meet. Okay. They did. Yes, you're right.
Like I just
Okay, so
his actual. I don't know. I assume some of the most powerful dragons have met him before, so I'm just thinking that could raise his standing. That's all I was trying to.
okay. Yeah. Light does nod. He says, "Truly," he says, "truly, that's maybe the only thing I have going for me." But
We'll always value you, Light, no matter what. I give him a
Hey,
thumbs up.
you're in the middle of a war to save all of heaven.
Yes.
Stop hell.
In a regular campaign, you would be a lot more scary than you are right now.
because I am told I'm a very charming individual and I have a great personality.
Yep.
Hey, also throw on your resume you killed Gromosh because you were there for that.
And as you guys are saying that, he stops for a second. He flips. And he turns his head around and he says, "Behold, Mount Dakaris."
Oh no, some dragons are going to start burning us to death because we're in the wrong.
Okay. So you guys approach these mountains that are in the very north corner of Azoa, and it is. It's a pretty barren area. Azoa itself is not very populous, so it's all pretty spread out. But here, especially in these mountains, you haven't seen any villages or any indication of settlement for quite a while. You guys approach this mountain, and light instantly begins to fly towards the peak. He's so gaining altitude, going up, up, up. Crossing the cloud line, and he settles as you guys are approaching. There's this large open crest of the mountain, and across the top, it looks like there have been rocks and stones erected in a Stonehenge type formation in a large circular pattern, and it was, you can tell that it was meant to be a gathering area but a gathering area of creatures that were much larger than your small humanoid forms. So it's a very large, broad, open area. Probably, a couple hundred yard, call it a couple hundred yards square. Yeah, a few acres in size
So I'm
at
gonna
the
ask
top of this
like,
mountain.
if how long would it take the dragons to respond if they do?
He says, "I know not. Depends on from whence they come."
Oh,
That
by the
was-
way, we meant to say this at the beginning of the day. I was going to ask Eloise if she could spy on the army for us without getting into battle.
On
Via
the
sending stone.
on the enemy army,
Yeah, on the orc army.
she's already back at her hometown. It's been a day's travel. So
Yeah, I'm
she's 2
saying,
days away from. She's 2 days away from Westvane.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, I didn't ask that. Ignore that.
Okay. All right. So you guys, as you guys fly around this mountain top, light eventually settles down at a spot near the edge-ish. So here, let's draw this shit. We'll do away with the grid. The grid is much too large. The grid is more like that. So you've got it's a large circular area. So that's the top of the mountain, the cinder cone that you guys are atop. You settle down somewhere. Oh, why did that go away? You guys settle down somewhere in this here area, and all around you see stone structures, ancient stone monuments, and that kind of thing. You see large scrapes and gashes, like claw marks, littering the ground around you. You see evidence of scorching fire, and you see a large pile of rock that seems to actually have been melted. And Light is elated. He's looking around. He says, he's actually whispering almost. He says, like, "These are hallowed grounds. Tales dating back to the origin of dragonkind all include Mount Dracarys." He says, "I encourage you, I beseech you, to be respectful of this area."
So, can I ask where on the map we are? The main map? World map?
You are
Here.
right there where the circle is.
Okay.
So it was actually faster to teleport to Haslin.
Yeah.
Alright. Light makes his way. In the center of this, you see a series of smaller stone circles that like radiate. There's there and there and there. You can see them in the ground, but you see various structures all around. It's like, it's hard to explain it. Natural rock outcroppings. Some have been crafted. Some have been. It looks like there have been statues of dragonkind and a couple of mortal individuals, couple humanoid-like individuals all over the place. It's a pretty large area. So you're looking at these ruins of a very old holy place, but to dragons. So it's all to slightly larger scale than what you would normally expect. Light mentions his way towards the center of the platform area, and like I said, there are rock outcroppings everywhere, so you can't see it directly. But he says, "There in yon center, there is where one must go to make the call." Shall I do it, mistress?
Here for him to do it.
Okay. He
I'll follow him.
begins. Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Following.
Go with.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Very respectfully.
Man, these dragons are lucky they're gonna meet us.
All right. Um, as you guys approach,
Oh, I'm gonna make sure that no one is wearing the head or skull of the dragon. Some people got shot in the head for it once already.
I don't have that dragon head anymore.
Okay, I'm just making
he
sure.
put it
I
up.
don't
He put it in your castle, I think,
Yeah.
in your keep.
Now, do I maybe have some shadow dragon parts on my armor? Maybe, but that's alleged. That's alleged. It can't be proven.
That's okay.
All right. You guys approach, and you're wandering your way through various stone structures, and so it's like slightly a meandering pathway as you guys are moving forward. Light is walking now. He's deliberately not flying. I'm assuming you guys left your griffins towards the edge, or are you still riding them or bringing them with you?
How trained are these griffins?
They're pretty well domesticated.
I asked Light, if we leave them, how likely are they to get burned, or frozen, or poisoned, or electrified?
For
Deadified.
one such as myself, he says, they are much too large to be a
What's the chance of them
targets.
becoming Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Yeah.
He says-
What about
Yeah.
olders of your race?
he says, for a dragon of true birth, and of full age, he says, they would be quite the tasty morsel.
Well,
I'm riding mine. I'm gonna make it walk behind Light.
You know, that's not a good idea because I doubt they would even notice.
yeah, you're gonna see Damos actually sticks a note on his that says, "Please don't eat my griffin, but if you do, you're welcome."
What was your argument for me not riding mine, Euphemia?
They're probably going to eat you with the griffin and they wouldn't notice.
Not if I'm standing next to Light.
Whatever.
Yeah,
We
I want to
need
ride
a new
mine.
dwarf.
All right, so you're the only one who's riding it. I'm guessing everyone else has left their griffins back there. Ashok, Elwyn, what are you doing with your griffin? Or Elwyn doesn't have one. Ashok, what are you doing with your griffin?
Can I follow him?
Yeah, are you bringing your griffin with you? Or are you leaving it at the edge with Damos's?
I'll bring it with.
Okay, so Deimos, you leave yours parked on the outside. You guys work your way towards the center of this large platform, and like I said, you're meandering your way through various streets. So it would be more like, you're doing a pathway like this, around various structures towards the center. As you get to the center, you do recognize a little bit more of a clearing, and in the middle there is a pedestal. A pedestal that's fairly large in circumference, raised as if a dragon were meant to stand on it. So it's quite a bit larger than Light is, obviously, because it's meant for a large dragon to stand on. It extends about 10 feet up in the air. And as you guys approach, you're looking cautiously, so no need for perception checks. You see someone seated at the top of this pedestal. So I'm going to show you guys on the map what I'm trying to describe here.
If it's a good gnome, or it's a halfling that likes to use daggers and rifles.
Oops. Here. So from the ground level, from where you guys are looking at the ground level, if you guys are on the ground, let's see, kind of like on the ground here. There's a fairly large pedestal, like this big. So a person would be yay tall, like this big, right around like this, large enough for like a dragon to have stood upon, right? You guys approach and you see on the edge of the pedestal a set of legs and feet dangling over it, just like kind of like absent-mindedly kicking back and forth, like there's a person sitting at the edge of the pedestal or lying down at the edge of the pedestal, and only her the feet are hanging over the edge.
Are these dwarvish feet, elvish feet, like
They
lengthwise?
Who
they
is
look
it?
more like larger than dwarves.
Okay, so not halfling or no. And you said they
They
look feminine,
They do sort of look feminine,
so not Robin.
and they are also bare feet.
Hey. Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, lady.
Okay. Is someone calling out to her or what?
Yeah, damn, I was just gonna call out to her.
All right. What do you say?
I say, where's this meeting supposed to be at? I hear there's like dragons or something here.
Okay. Um, Suddenly she sits up and looks over at you, and as she does, there's a flurry of wind that kind of like rustles around her, and you swear you see, even though it's an arid kind of climate here, you swear you see like flickers of snow or ice like floating around her, and all she does is look at you with this vacant, intense stare. She's wearing a simple white shift. It's not even a dress. It's like it's the remnants of a dress, but it's simple. It's plain, like cotton shift that goes down. That it's like a one piece that goes down to her knees.
Okay.
Is she an
focuses
elder
on
dragon
you.
pretending to be a
I
human?
assure her that I am a CR at least 20 player's handbook monster, and she best be nice to me because there's 5 other of us.
There is no response. All you have is her locked on gaze, just focusing on you as a party.
I'm gonna ask Light if she's a dragon pretending to be human.
I
Um,
point. Oh yeah.
Light is taken aback. As soon as she glared at him, he stopped firm in his tracks,
I
and he's
point
looking
out
at her.
the few random dragon parts that are on my armor. I point. I'm like, look, I'm almost a dragon.
There's no motion. All you see is the swirling of her hair and her clothing rippling in the wind, and she's just focusing very intensely on you all. You see her head tilt just slightly.
I'm gonna keep walking forward, and I just assume that she's trying to show that she's really cool. And
I'll poke at Light.
hey, she got a nice booty. She got a nice booty.
You can't see from where she's sitting up there.
I'm gonna go.
She's sitting up at the edge. Yeah.
I'm gonna not fly very high, just a few feet, just to get off the ground, like a couple of feet, 2-3 feet off the ground. And I'm gonna use my draconic presence. I'm not gonna try to and make her roll a saving throw or anything. I just want to show that I'm a drop of dragon, and I'm not like somebody like a level 2 person.
Okay. All right. So you fly up, and you establish your presence. Your awe-inspiring presence as your wings flare out from behind you. You do manage a glance your way. She flicks her eyes in your general direction for a little second. She doesn't really turn her head towards you, Owen. Just her eyes just kind of track you, with her head kind of staying still.
And I'll bow, I'll give her a little, not a bow, but a little nod on my way down.
Who is she staring at? Directly.
She's staring at Light.
I'm gonna crawl up on Light's back and look over his head and try to take the gaze away from her.
I'd be like, hey,
I
staring at him.
What are you doing, Euphemia?
I'm putting myself between her and Light, but I'm crawling up his back and up his neck, so
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning over the edge,
Okay. All right.
trying to get Light to respond.
Yeah. All right. So Light does. You feel him kind of stepping backwards a little bit. He says, "Mistress, he says, we have affixed the gaze, he says, of an elder one.
Yeah.
He says, be very cautious, my lady. Extreme caution, I would advise.
Elder one got a
Jesus,
fat
very good,
booty.
everyone. Technically her booty is probably bigger than your last house.
Ooh, you see Damo sweating a bit. That's nice. No, I'm just joking. Damo's just gonna keep going forward though. He's very
Okay,
charismatic.
so you're
just
right
wants
now.
to
You're
talk.
at the base of the pedestal. You're 10 feet below her. You're looking up, and her basically her bare feet are hanging over the edge of the pedestal, just a few feet above you. You can see that they're, I guess from your vantage point, they're all dirty on the bottom, like she's been walking around on bare feet. Her skin is, it's not very kept up.
I say,
Almost like a street urchin would look.
hey, lady. So we're here for this dragon thing. This is my buddy Light over there. We got this guy. Someone banged his great grandma. He's kind of a dragon. That's Euphemia. She has silver hair. Fun fact. I'm Deimos. I have at least 7 cool hobbies. I'll tell you about those later. That there is Elbrick. He is the biggest dwarf ever. He is sometimes referred to as a living ball of muscle. And that's Ashok. He will fucking shoot things with a bow.
Okay.
So can we come in?
Not a word. She tilts her head just slightly. Just
And I say,
watching
hey,
all of you.
hey,
Her eyes
Mildred
flicking back
said
and forth.
that you guys would come help us out, and we come over here, and we just want to be friends. And you know what? There's a big old fucking god fighting thing. I saw your fucking evil god, the Tiamat, get her asses handed to her, and I just, it's just inconvenient for us. You could just really, if you talk to us, it just makes it a lot easier. Like, I know we were probably some big scary badass, whatever. But we literally just had a fight at Gromosh and stuff. And no offense, I think Gromosh would kick your ass. And I'm just not in the mood. And I'm Deimos. How you doing?
No response whatsoever. Light, by now, this point, Euphemia, Light has dropped to his knee and has bowed himself before her.
I will force my griffin to do the same and lower my head.
I'll follow Light.
And if my
Okay.
griffin doesn't understand the idea of bowing, I will dismount, hold his rein, say I apologize for my mount, and bow myself.
Actually, I'll try to make Amos fucking bow.
Deimos isn't getting it, but as soon as Euphemia yells out bow, you see Deimos like do the most gracious courtesy bow ever. He's like, what the fuck was that for?
Elwyn, what are you doing? And Ashok, what are you doing?
I want to poke her with my bow.
I will hold his hand and say, "Whoa, hold on. Let's just bow for now."
What did Ashok do? I missed it. I can't hear him.
He wants a shooter.
Oh no!
No,
Roll an
I
attack.
didn't say that.
Roll
I
an
said I was
attack.
gonna poke her.
Yeah, whatever. She'll be fine.
Don't do that. Bad idea.
Poke
Bad
with a bow
idea.
is like
Alright. The rest of you are bowing, so Ashok, go ahead. What are you doing? Are you walking up and gonna poke her with with the end of your bow?
I hold my bow up and point it like I'm going to, but then I stop and just stand there.
Okay, you come close. She's watching you very curiously. As you approach her and you stick this thing out, and you almost touch her, like her foot basically, because you're on the ground and she's about 10 feet above you. You hold the bow out, and she just looks at you curiously. She tilts her head slightly.
At
And
this point,
Ashok, from where you are, you realize that her sharp gaze and her sharp look is animalistic. It's like a curious cat would have.
oh, did you say a cat?
You're not even really sensing much of a contemplation or of much thought behind it. It's Ashok, from where you are being a ranger, you can tell it's almost purely instinctual what she's doing.
No, Deimos. Not a cat.
Deimos just fucking starts climbing up this shit.
Are
He
you
knows
in-
what cats like.
Nature check?
Not a cat.
They love their heads scratched and their bellies rubbed. And actually,
Not a
Deimos
cat.
No, Deimos has some like good jerky.
Not a
stuff,
cat.
which he knows he likes in there, so he's gonna start climbing up.
Not a cat, Deimos. Not a cat.
Hey, Deimos is going through some issues right now. Deimos
Okay.
is gonna.
So Damon,
climb up
are you trying to climb up there?
Yep.
All right. So you grab onto the edge of the pedestal, and you start climbing your way up. And as soon as your hand breaks the top of the, comes over the top of the lip, she pulls herself up and she scurries backwards, and on 2 feet. She's not on all 4 feet, on all fours. And you look back and she's there, crouched down, one knee on the ground, in a feral like pose. Her eyes just still looking at you. Her still the wind and the slight sprinkle of ice and snow seems to have moved along with her, and she's just there like glaring at you.
Deimos knows exactly what to do. He pulls out some of this food he has that he used to give to the captain, and as you see a single teardrop, he doesn't even have a teardrop come down, but his eyes get a little bit watery. But he pulls it out as he's reminiscing about the great fun times him and Captain had as they just jump around and fucking play cat games and shit like that. And I will offer her some of the food, and I say, "Who's a good girl?"
Okay.
Deimos, how'd you even know that she was a cat? Because that was directed towards.
That is true.
Shock.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Deimos would not know any of this. All right, sorry. Retroactively, I don't think I can do this.
All right,
I want you to roll an animal handling check just to see, but.
Well, you did try to climb your way up. So Ashok, so you see Deimos try to climb his way up ahead of you, and she disappears over the top. What do you do, Ashok?
I try to see where she's going.
Okay, so you're gonna have to climb up as well, if just be able to see, because the pedestal is 10 feet high.
Yeah, do you need me to do a climb check?
Nah, it doesn't take you much effort. So you pop up over the edge, Ashok, and you see Deimos there trying to like call out to her like you would a cat, and just like hunched over, holding something out to her, going like, "Hey, kitty, kitty," or whatever he's doing.
Elwyn, can you try to talk to her and you're not panic?
Why hasn't... I'm going to say, well, I thought this all hinged on Light. Why doesn't he talk to her?
Because we haven't even started yet.
Light, get your ass up here.
Light, he's very hesitant. He says, "I dare not. Not
Dude,
in
I
the
will
presence of."
kick your ass, and then you don't want that to happen, because if I don't kick your ass, you females...
You're on top of the
cut your
plateau.
head off.
Don't threaten Light.
Deimos is on top of the plateau. He's not where Light is.
Yeah, I can't do shit.
Yeah, well,
You're
I
either
assume he's
messing
yelling
with the cat
over
dragon or you're talking to Light. Your choice.
Ashok, perception check.
Elwyn, talk to him. You're the only one that can speak Draconic.
Okay.
And I think that's why the only language he knows.
Ashok is wondering which way is up.
Ashok, you're focused in on what Deimos is doing, and let's see the rest of you from down below. So Elwyn, you're slightly flying in the air, so you can kind of see on top of the platform. Euphemia and Light are still down below. Albric is still down below also. So the three of you don't see this, but
As
she's
soon as
backing up
everyone-
slightly. Go on.
I'm just saying, as soon as I know I wouldn't be there at the exact same time as they are, but as soon as they start climbing, I will start climbing. I will get off and I'll start climbing.
Okay. You guys, you start
People
making
don't
your way up.
understand the concept of bowing.
All right. So, Euphemia, it's just you and Light down on the ground now, and Light is pretty hesitant.
I'm gonna look at Light. It's like, hey, we gotta figure out what's going on. Can't let Deimos be the first person that talks to people at 1,000 or so years. We want him leading the charge.
Light says, "At your command, my lady. I will agree." And with a flap of his wings, he carries the two of you up to the
I'll
top.
jump Light. Yeah.
So you guys are all at the platform, and you're kind of scattered about, but you're all focusing on this lady. She is, as you can see, she's fairly frail and small, but about the size of a petite human lady, a human female. She does, like I said, she looks fairly scraggly, like a street urchin. You see Deimos kind of approaching her, trying to talk to her. Um, let's see here. Euphemia, perception check. Since you're the last one to go up.
1 second. Coughing to death.
Ooh, not bad, not
Okay.
bad.
Okay. Deimos is a good 30 feet ahead of you guys, maybe more, 40 feet ahead of you guys, trying to approach her. The rest of you are closing in slightly. Euphemia, you're further back, having just lifted up to the top, and you see someone dropping down out of the sky. Not
Humanoid?
specifically, yes. Not specifically quickly, but just kind of like drifting in.
I'll make a motion for Alwyn. I'll
He
point
doesn't
out.
look like a
point out
guy
to Alwyn.
who has a gun, right?
Deimos, you turn around when you hear Euphemia, and you see this guy standing there, holding
That son of a
something to your
bitch,
face.
goddamn it, son of a bitch.
Yeah! Wow, good guess, Davis.
Oh shit! How'd you guess that?
Yeah, I was thinking, it's like, you know what would really fuck us up the most? If we know Midas, what would really screw us up the most? Oh wait, this guy. Yeah, this is probably who it is.
Oh,
It's probably his new fucking girlfriend.
Ellen. Storytelling, and would you have told me about Antares?
I would have told you that he killed Deimos. Well, I would have told you a story of what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to know if I recognize this guy as a bad guy, because at the point that I see
a
him,
good guy.
Yeah, we want him to be our friend.
Davis
I
just
would-
had the nice moment of wearing his former girlfriend's skin.
Don't even worry about it.
Dude, after who attacked the dragon?
What was
I
I
didn't say
saying?
she shouldn't die. I'm just saying it was bad luck to like skin for a fucking trophy. Come on.
anyways, the point I was trying to make is I would say the word on my animated shield.
So he dropped down right in the middle of you guys, and Deimos, as you he's already got his gun pointed straight at your head as you turn around. And
I
he
say,
says,
what's up, bro? We haven't seen each other for a long time. How you doing?
Alright, so you're looking straight down the barrel of his gun.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
He says, "It won't do you any good talking to her.
Why?
She doesn't speak."
Have you tried
Shit.
the dragon languages?
He says, "No response. She's lost her mind of some sort."
Oh. Well, I can
He
fix that.
thumbs back the hammer on his revolver, Deimos. He says,
Oh, son of a
"Now
bitch, come on,
what
bro.
are you doing here?"
We're here to fucking save the dragons in the world. As I remember stated to you last time we met, we don't want everybody to die.
Funny. You talking
Yeah.
about not wanting others to die.
Yeah, I don't. Greater good here.
She
Greater
was a
good.
shadow dragon, though, Tori. You know that. She wanted nothing but
Damo
to...
says, he says, I always protect my friends over people who are trying to literally eat my fucking friends. I think that's a pretty standard thing to go by.
He says,
By the way, is there anything different about him? Is he like... Does he seem like more evil, I should say?
um,
Or is there corruption about him that's different than last time we noticed him?
no. What he does look like, in a similar way, it's been a year and a half since you guys saw him. But he does look more traveled. Honestly, he looks stronger. I mean, in the same way that you guys have been growing, he has been You guys caught a vision of what he had been up to, in the briefest sense, somewhere along your journeys.
Yeah. I say, hey, good job killing that. What's his name? Grazit? High five, bro. Nice, not bad, not bad.
He says, "He was a demon.
Yeah, fuck
He's
him.
the one who subverted my Isolin all those years ago."
Oh shit, I hate that guy. He's a terrible person.
He says, "Tell me why you are here."
Okay, I'll say it one more time for you because I know you're an intelligent person. But so hear me out on this one. I'll say it a little bit slower. We are here to save the world.
No
We're going
fast
to see the
movements from
dragons.
you.
I'm moving slower for you. Come on, bro. And we're gonna go talk to the dragons. We're gonna go help the dragons. Dragons are gonna help us. World gets saved. Bang, bang, boom. This world gets saved a bit more, and we get to help gods.
He pauses for a second. He looks around, and he says, "That dragon you brought with you, where did you get it?"
From a tree. Damon doesn't lie. Damon was just telling the truth this entire time.
He shakes his head. He says, "You always want to fuck around. I see how it is."
No, seriously.
Antares,
Look into my eyes.
I summoned him. I used a tree and a few other components, and I summoned him.
"I didn't know such a thing was possible. But
We've grown quite a bit stronger last time. Of course, you.
he turns to you all and he says, "I'm here for the dragons as well. I brought her because I thought she would be able to give me inroads to their society.
That's a
But
good point.
we've been sitting here for days, her scattering about, and me getting more and more impatient."
Oh shit! I think I have a way to solve this problem. Do you have 25,000 gold pieces?
He says, he points his gun back at your head. He says,
No.
"I got
No.
one really good one right here for you."
No. Seriously, bro.
The dragons might not find her trustworthy for the someday more. That's probably what they haven't. Maybe we'll have better luck, but who knows?
Light
I don't like
is
this
going to
guy.
speak.
He's a
Light kind of speaks up for a
chaotic
second.
good guy.
Go on. Yeah. Go on.
He's like pointing guns and stuff. Last time we met him, he actually killed Deimos. I really don't like this guy. I'm having a lot of trouble holding back from just straight up attacking him.
You hear Deimos?
Don't
Deimos is
want
like
to fight here.
Deimos still
Remember what
thinks he's a
Light said.
good guy, and he's just
Remember-
misunderstood. And he has you think of it as he has a hard time understanding new things, such as his girlfriend was eating our party mates, so we had to make her not eat our party mates.
Okay. If he makes
Remember
one
what-
aggressive move, I'm warning you that I'm attacking.
All right,
If you attack him, we will never have the dragon.
I
Basically,
say.
sure.
You see Deimos say, "Hey, do you think maybe if I try to clear her mind a bit, it would help? With maybe a greater restoration?
And Terry says,
Because I'm a holy person. I'm a
Perhaps.
good person."
he lowers the hammer on his gun. And he puts he holsters it. He says, "Don't do anything tricky."
Yeah, like I'm gonna do anything tricky. I'm fucking wearing a bunch of armor, and I'm slow. Look at this tricky guy over here. So you see this Deimos just like talking shit. Nice shit, but as he walks towards this girl in a very nice way, still with these treats out. And
All right.
Hey,
trying to
I
reach out.
kind of say to Deimos, maybe you want to try something a little bit more meat-based instead of sweet.
No, it's not sweet. It's meat based. It is fish, and it's got veal, and it's like turkey, and it's got gravy. It's literally
Okay.
the holy grail of cat food.
Just making sure.
Damos is no expense.
What was your
And
animal
so
handling check? You rolled 25 on animal handling?
yeah, I took animal handling just for Captain Patches.
Okay. You have her attention. She's not really looking at the food, but something about your demeanor and the way you're approaching her, it seems somewhat trustworthy. So she stops backing off.
All right, I go for her, and I put the food at the ground if she lets me. And I know what animals like. You start with the right ear, right behind you. You get a little scratch. Fucking love it. Then you get a little to the top of their head. They'll go into it, and as that happens, I'll give it a little greater restoration.
Okay. You reach out as you're approaching her. You hear Antares saying, says, "She's been like that ever since I retrieved her.
From
Won't say
where?
a word." Says, "North, far to the north.
Okay.
Found her frozen in a mountain of ice. There was a demon there, a very powerful one. Sought her out. Was trying to do something to her. I'd been hunting him for a while. Blew his head off. Found her just lying there, almost broken.
Good thing you
Turns
got
out
Dr. Damos.
Turns out she's a dragon of some kind or of some lineage. And if I know anything, it's that the demons have targeted the dragons. So, I brought her here, trying to get in touch with them. Because where the dragons are, I figure, I'll find more demons to kill. Fucking
fair
dead
enough.
end that was.
I don't know. Trust me on this one. As you see, like this, like holy energy travel off like this sweet head scratching motion. I'm gonna try to like break whatever stuff this piece of crap demon did.
Okay, roll me one more animal handling check as you try to touch her. Okay. Just the way you approach her, she pauses, and you can see her posture change a little bit. She's still crouched down on the ground, but as you walk closer, there's something about your demeanor that's just really that seems at least non-threatening to her, and she's
Almost like-
regarding you with curiosity. Go on.
Oh, I was like, it's almost like I've been carrying a cat for like 2 fucking years.
Yeah, that's got to pay off for something, right?
Hell yeah.
All right. She lets you, as you reach out your gauntleted hand. She shies. She looks at the heavy metal glove on your hand, and she just looks at you, and she begins to lean away.
Oh. It's like
I'm gonna say in Draconic the name Shaylin, see if it catches her attention.
tell her like with a sorry.
She redirects her gaze towards you, Elwyn, briefly. And as she does that, Deimos, she pauses, and you can reach over at her.
All right, I'll do that then.
All right. You cast Greater Restoration on her as you come into contact with her head.
Yeah, if it makes it any better, I'll cast it like 6th level just to give it a little bit extra juice. I don't know how that works, but I like to pretend it gives it slightly more juice.
She as you do so, you see her head just like flick backwards and her back kind of arch a little bit as she takes in a sharp inhale. And she shudders a little bit, and you see her icy blue eyes just blink, and her face just grimace a little bit, and she opens them up, and there seems to be a little bit more of a presence back there, but her eyes are still kind of vacant, but she closes her eyes again and she opens them up, and you can see she's struggling.
All right.
But whatever you did definitely affected her.
Good thing Damus can keep blasting some restorations. I'm I'm like the Restoration King right now.
As you reach out again, she recoils back. She jumps backwards, about 10 feet, and she's on standing up now, and she's just looking at you again, and she blinks again, and she opens her eyes, and she opens her mouth, and she says, "No, no, no more."
I'm gonna fly up and so I can be level with the platform. And I'm just gonna be flying up in the air, and I'm gonna say, "Shaylin, we're here to help in Draconic."
She looks over at you. In Draconic, she replies, um, um, "Where are the dragon kind?" She looks around. She says, "This place has fallen into ruin. What has happened?"
There is a war. The demons are taking war to the heavens, and the dragon kind have been swept in the war as well. We came here to seek, to call for the dragons, so we can form an alliance and we can help each other drive back the demons. What happened to you?
She blinks. She closes her eyes and she focuses again, and you can see her really struggling. She after a few seconds of just deep concentration, she opens her eyes again, and she says in Draconic, she says, lost for ages. She says, we fled. The gods struck us down, slew all of my kin. None of our fury, none of our wrath could match what they unleashed upon us. Dead. All of them. Dead. I ran. Flew as fast as I could. Dove into the sea and was lost. She closes her eyes and she shakes her head a little bit. And Terry says, I don't know what to make of this. But there have been no dragons around for thousands of years.
If I try to get closer to her, does she back away?
You are currently probably about 60 feet away. From where you are right now, if you try to approach, she's not backing up.
Okay. I'll try to get up to like as close as Deimos is.
Okay, so Deimos is around 15 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Deimos is still going to
Okay.
try to get a little bit closer.
As you inch forward, Deimos, she steps backwards, maintaining the distance between you.
I assure her, I'm like, come on. We're here to help.
She says,
We've
"You
heard bad
are-
stuff happen to you.
You are." She looks at you all. She says, "You are humankind."
No, I like to consider myself as God in the making.
You are no god.
Oh, no, not
God.
yet. Hey, we're good friends of Modron, that counts. Temus is my bro. And, yeah,
She says,
come on.
as you mentioned Modron's name, she says, "You are no Modron."
No, I'm not Modron. Modron friend.
Okay. She's maintaining the distance between you. Elwin, what did you want to say?
I'm gonna tell her, let us call out. Maybe if there are other survivors of your great kind, they will answer our call. Especially if one of your repute is the one to make the call. We have a friend here, and I'll point to Light, um, and say, but as you can see, he's still young. If any of your kind are still alive, they would respond to you if you make the call. You're already standing atop the platform.
She
Do you want me to roll persuasion or anything?
yeah, roll persuasion.
God, hold on, I'm unlucky that.
Oh, good.
Better.
So glad you took that feat.
I love it.
That would have
Neither
made it.
concern.
That would have made it very different. Would have been very different. She says, "There are no dragons left." She looks at him. "That's one. Has the form of my kin, but his smell," she says, "is different."
I think that's oak you're smelling.
Yeah.
Or pine. um,
Aren't they all like in a different dimension now?
there is no harm in trying. Please, we must try.
She says, she closes her eyes again. She furrows her brow. She says, "I cannot, cannot." She says, "Don't." She looks down at herself, her body, her hands, her legs. She grabs onto her shift with one hand and she like tugs on it a little bit. She says, she looks up at you and she says, "Don't remember."
What don't you remember?
She looks at her hands and her form. She says, "Not." She says, "Not. Don't remember how to change."
Ellen,
So
see if you
we
can
can help
persuade her to let Deimos give her a greater restoration.
Will you let my friend try to clear your mind?
Um, roll one more persuasion.
What the
Oh.
fuck is up with these? I just got one lucky left.
You got
Worth
one
it,
left.
man, worth it.
She says, "Smelly one." Touches head.
Why is Deimos so smelly? Gosh damn. Game will take a shower at some point.
I'll prestidigitation him as much as you want. I'll start cleaning Deimos all like from
Now
top to
apparently
bottom.
dragons and archangels don't like Deimos' smell. Something's not right here.
She says,
Being honest with you,
"Try."
Spice.
She says, she looks at you, Dan, when she says, "May try." She stands
Go
straight
ahead,
up
Deimos.
and she just watches you.
Deimos will walk forward very nicely and politely, and then be like, "Bam, bam, bam, bam," with some greater restorations.
Roll a wisdom check.
Come on, Deimos, you're the wisest of us all.
We'll go with that. Yeah,
Oh!
yeah. See, look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
There you go.
That was really. See, the worst part is I changed my dices to white, so I can't actually see the roll of it until it goes into chat because it puts way more drama in that. It's terrible. I'm like, oh no, it's probably a 1.
All right. All right, as you reach on Deimos, and this time with her willingness and a little bit longer prolonged contact, you're able to remove some of the cobwebs, clearing her mind, and you're digging in, and you realize that there's several layers of problems with her, several things that have afflicted her. One, she was wounded in recently. And you gather based on Antares' description that in her frozen form, when she was frozen in this mountain of ice, The demon had found her and had basically been trying to do something to her, and in the process she was affected and wounded, and in her slumber, in her hibernation, this drastically traumatized her. So you're able to, as you're addressing that, you're able to work your way through that, but you get a feeling that there's something even deeper down inside her that's afflicting her, but you're not quite able to determine what it is. But you get a sense that there's more. But in
Okay.
your process, you do manage to work through some of the cobwebs in her mind, repairing some of the effects of the demon's attack, the recent demon attack on her.
Okay. Sweet.
All right. There's a shudder. She recoils again. She steps away, and you see her gasping and breathing, and she looks up at you again. Her eyes focused on the two of you, and on the ones behind you. And this time, a little bit of light behind them, a keener awareness, a deeper intelligence behind them. She says, "Who are you? What is your purpose with my kind?" She looks around. She says, "Who is your sponsor?"
I think this would be a very appropriate moment for all of us. I don't know. You guys don't have
Turn
to do
around and
this,
look at
but
Light.
yeah, just all of us. Every single finger points to Light.
Yep. I am okay with that.
Everyone else gonna do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Scene, please. Movie scene this for me, everybody.
She looks at Light. She says, "Young one, do you speak for these mankind, these small folk?" Light kind of stands up and he walks forward to her. He says, "My lady," he says, "they are indeed they do indeed accompany me. And what purpose do they have with you? Do they serve you?" Light says,
Ooh.
"Indeed they do."
Ooh.
He looks at you, Oliver,
Good
he gives you a sharp side glance.
I'm
says-
not saying anything out loud. I'm going with it.
She says, "Well, then you would do well to keep your humans in check. They become presumptuous." "Understood, my lady." He says, he says, "Humans, come here, hither, return to me."
Oh yes, great, mighty master, slayer of Gromosh and killer of many, many Tarrasques.
"Have you
Don't
done
lay it on
these
too thick.
things, Silver One? You look small and weak."
Oh, one of small but great of power and tactical genius of hiring us.
Light says, "My lady, I cannot lie to an elder. I am young. I am not of pure birth. But these ones who have come along with me are of great strength. They have accomplished these deeds. They are friends of Modron. They have been kind to me, my lady." Shaylin says, "And you would be foolish enough to befriend mankind. Just, I warn you, there is nothing but hurt and death and pain at the end of that road. I have seen it and felt it myself." She rears her head back and she says, "Where are my brethren? Where are they?" She looks at you all. She says, "You wanted to call the dragons? Call the dragons I shall." She is going to
I ask Elwin
suddenly.
a quick
Sure, go
Oh
ahead.
crap!
out of character question. Just out of curiosity, what is your level up thing again?
What do you mean?
Like to level up your staff?
Um,
Like I know Euphemia is asking about like the daytime moon or whatever, but I was just trying to remember what yours was specifically.
here, I'll link it.
I can't open
Like
it.
that so they
Oh.
can read. No, hold
To
on.
awaken
Alright.
this.
Oh, yeah, you can read it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Do you know whose soul it was?
Nope.
Yeah, we're still in the right place though.
Yeah.
I won't ask her though. She doesn't seem too. Like I'm gonna be respectful. She don't seem too nice. This is all out of character, by the way.
All right. She before you, she begins to shimmer, like the ice and the snow around her begins to swirl, and the storm just picks up, and her hair begins to flick around, and the shift that she's wearing just begins to flap and rapidly shake in the wind. And Terry says, "Well, I'll be damned." He says. He looks around at you all. He says, "I wouldn't be standing here if I were you." And he immediately jumps backwards into the air and backs off several hundred feet.
I will get the fuck out of Dodge too.
I'm gonna stay with Light.
I'm a trot
Okay.
away.
What are the
Light is on the-
options again? I was
She's
throwing something away.
Yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want. And Terry
Actually-
basically said that he. Go on.
Oh no, sorry. What were you saying?
He said he wouldn't be standing here if he were you, and Aaron Terry had backed off.
I'll
I
move to the
see-
very edge, and if I see she's going to take up the whole thing, I'm going to jump.
Yeah, do
Like
I
ten.
see like how much space she's gonna take up? Or if something's
Um,
coming down from the sky?
You do not see that right now. All you see is that the swirl and the flicker of ice and wind begins to intensify and begins to grow as it spirals around her. It becomes like
Amos
a
was-
veritable blizzard in the center of the platform.
Okay, I'll slowly walk away then. Kind of like not looking back because I'm cool and I don't look back at explosions.
Okay. All right. Suddenly, her form begins to shake and shudder, and it begins to be covered up and completely engulfed in the snow and the wind, and the blizzard in front of you begins to grow larger and larger. And you can see deep inside the snow and a huge form beginning to emerge. It is grand. It is large. It is powerful. Is quickly over engulfing this pedestal. It's growing much larger than the pedestal is.
Oh, fucking
You guys look up and you see Terry's booking it further and further away.
Oh damn! I didn't know we were going against an ancient of primordial ancient dragon. At this
What are
point,
you guys
though,
doing?
Dan was just picking up his pace, I guess. He's cool, but he's got a cold sweat going on as he's totally being cool still, but he's picking up the pace to not get fucking smothered under this gigantic thing.
Yeah, Euphemia, you and Light have already Light has already spread his wings and has drifted further back away from the pedestal.
Okay, well, I'm just hanging on to Light.
Okay. The rest of you guys, I'm assuming, are scampering out of the way as this massive blizzard maelstrom in the middle of this of this pedestal begins to dissipate, and as it clears, you guys see a monstrous dragon standing there, but not a dragon any kind that like Light with scale and flesh and claw and tooth. This is a dragon in essence only. Because what stands before you right now is something much more than a dragon ever was. This is a dragon composed purely of ice and frost and with a glimmering shimmer of light and silver echoing through her being. And she's quite large. Quite large. You're talking, hundreds of feet long.
Oh shit.
By the way, that acrobatics check was for me jumping off the side of the thing.
Okay, yeah, you managed to land stumbling on your feet, and you come running. Her torso, her leg area, or her legs that she rests on, managed to clamp down on the pedestal, but her wingspan is much larger than the pedestal itself.
That's legit.
As soon as I get my feet and my bearings, I will immediately bow, kind of sideways glancing at everybody that they should do the same. Don't poke it this time.
I don't know. I think we're the ones who saved it, so it should be thankful. Deimos will be bowing.
Okay. As you do that, you hear her voice echoing, just blasting through the air. She's just this call that beckons through the through. And it's more of it like resonates with the whole mountaintop. This massive dragon voice, just reverberating through the whole mountaintop, in Draconic completely, in words you don't really understand. Elwyn, you catch some of their meaning, but they are very symbolic. They are very archaic. They are very high language, in what's coming out.
Okay.
And it's followed by a large, monstrous, like mountain-shaking roar. Okay. At this point, the wind and the snow and just the presence of her is blasting you guys further and further back. I mean, you guys are having to take cover behind rock formations and stuff, as the blizzard and the ice and the temperature in the air has dropped considerably. Whereas this was an arid desert area, in like the high 80s, 90 degrees area, it is now. You now look around and you're seeing condensation beginning to freeze around on the rocks around, and stuff around you, and on the ground around you. Okay. After a few moments of the blast, let's see here. So like literally, you guys had to remain safe. If this was the the whole dragon area, the whole mountaintop area, the pedestal was located in the center here. You guys had to, the blast radiated out pretty far, so you guys were all driven back, and over the course of the the 10 or the 15 or 20 seconds that it took to for that to happen, you guys find yourselves scattered at various points along the outside perimeter. So around here, you're full on hundreds of feet away from where the center of the ring is. Okay, she encompasses about this area here.
I would have, as I was running and trying to get away, I would have jumped on my griffin and got away that way. I got to it.
Okay. All right, your griffin's wings are starting to freeze.
That's pretty cool what she just did, guys.
Okay, I'll, try to get him further away and see if he can flap the icicles off.
Okay. All right, he's managing some measure of success.
Are we starting to freeze as well, just from being in proximity with her, or?
During the moments of her call and just the pure manifestation of her presence, as she was doing that, definitely so. I mean, you're finding frost in your beard, and you feel yourself getting your body temperature having dropped a little bit. But after about 20 seconds go by, her roar subsides, and her power is beginning to be withdrawn. And you can feel yourself warming up a little bit, and you can see some of the ice beginning to fade, but it's still markedly colder here than it was before.
Okay, so I will help brush ice particles off his wing as well. Just no.
Okay, she looks down at you all, and she says,
The call has been made.
all right.
Sweet.
That was creepy.
Does she still got a fat ass? Just joking.
Quite large. Alright.
But you know, I bow at the point that I seem appropriate. So after I'm done running and pulling the ice out of my beard, Griffin dude.
As that happens, you see her beginning to subside even more, and her form begins to diminish. You can see the ice retracting in on itself, and the temperature in the area begins to warm to gradually raise higher and higher as her form shrinks, and she retracts in on herself.
Maybe she can't hold that power here that long.
Knowing what I/Elwin knows about dragon, do we know if all dragons can manifestation, or is it because she's super powerful? Is that like how Light would have called out everybody, or what do we know?
What's Light's face look like right now?
Light is in complete shock and awe. He's, as you guys kind of gather up, as the blizzard has subsided and all the ice is beginning to retract back to the center of the circle. Light says, "What? That was the call of an Elder One."
Okay.
I would have gone up there and roared.
How little does your penis seem right now, Light?
He says, "It's cold, okay?"
I'll give him a pat on the back and say, "We still love you."
At the center of the circle now, you see Shaylin in her humanoid form.
I'll get closer again.
Sweet.
Okay.
Let's do this. And also I say, hey, because since we're here, do you want me to try to heal you a bit more on account of it seems like there's still some stuff that demon did to you?
Okay. As you approach, you see that Antares has already dropped down and is standing next to her.
Wait, he can fly?
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Well,
Antares
he runs on the air. He runs on the air. He doesn't fly. He runs on the air.
I want
You
to see
see
his
him
player
convert.
sheet.
I could show you his player sheet.
You don't want to see it.
He's level 23. You see him conversing with her, and they are striking up a conversation. It's evident that she knows what he's done for her, and that she has. And you hear him basically saying, like, "For the debt you owe me, all I ask is the opportunity to what's he gonna say? To ask of your kin the right to slay the demons that surround them, and to enlist their help if such a need were to arise." You hear her saying back to him, just, "As is only appropriate, I owe you a blood debt, and that shall be paid." Okay. Alright, James, you gotta go?
Yeah, I'm going to be responsible. Thanks for running the game.
Yeah.
I should be a little bit longer next time. I just got to go to work early today. So
That's fine.
I'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Take care, man. Alright,
And I should too for school in the
you gotta
morning.
go too? Alright. Go ahead.
I lasted as long as I could.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around, man.
I wouldn't mind ending it a little bit early.
Okay. It's gonna take a little while for the dragons to respond. You're gonna be, it's gonna be days. But basically, we'll start off next week with you all waiting and having conversation and learning a little bit more about what happened to the dragon kind and that kind of stuff. There is,
Okay.
like I said, there is a piece at the top of at the dragon summit. So no, and especially in Shaylin's presence, no violence is tolerated. So you guys are kind of required to speak to each other. Or at least behave peaceably. All right.
I'm thinking it's a good thing that you didn't attack Antares then, Elwin.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling him, that he attacked.
Okay. All right, guys.
And
Thanks for playing.
if
Go on.
I'm just gonna say what I want to basically be doing is I want to be talking to Light, learning every single thing I can about Dragon Protocol.
Okay. All right. He'll fill you in as best as he can.
And
Shaylin
then
is being
I'll try-
partially conversant, but she's not. She's still a little bit aloof. So.
Yeah. And then just work on general relationships with her. Not trying to be flirty or anything, but just showing her we're worth it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
All right,
it. Thank you.
You guys have found the dragons. This is gonna get interesting. All right. See you guys
Cool.
next week.
Yep. See you next week. Thanks.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.